What if every person carried both masculine and feminine energy within them? Not in the way culture defines gender, but in the way the soul balances itself. Carl Jung believed that within every person lives a hidden counterpart, a reflection of the opposite energy. In men, this inner figure is called the anima, the feminine soul image. In women, it's the animus, the inner masculine spirit. But these aren't gender stereotypes, they are symbols, archetypes, that emerge from the collective unconscious. These figures influence how we relate to ourselves and to others. A man disconnected from his anima may struggle to express vulnerability or connect emotionally. A woman cut off from her animus may doubt her ideas or feel unable to assert her truth. But when we meet these inner figures, not in fear, but with curiosity, they become guides toward balance and authenticity. Jung believed that to become whole, a man must learn to love and accept his anima, and a woman must learn to understand and channel her animus. Only then does the psyche begin to harmonize. Only then can true individuation begin, the journey toward the self. You might wonder, why should we care about anima and animus today? Aren't they just old symbols from another time? But the truth is, they show up everywhere, not just in myths and dreams, but in how we think, feel, and relate. For men, the anima is often the first bridge to his own inner world. She might appear through his creativity, or in sudden waves of emotion he doesn't fully understand. If he avoids her, represses emotion, mocks sensitivity, fears vulnerability, he risks becoming rigid, cold, disconnected not only from others, but from himself. He might chase women, not out of love, but in search of something he's lost within. That spark, that beauty, that emotion, projected outward instead of integrated inward. For women, the animus is the voice of structure, vision, and inner authority. He pushes her to define herself not through others, but through her own beliefs and goals. When unconscious, he can become domineering. That internal voice that says, "You're not good enough," or that demands perfection. But when conscious and integrated, the animus helps her speak her truth, to stand firm, to act decisively. He is the sword of clarity. We often look for these energies outside of ourselves, in lovers, mentors, or idols. But what Jung showed us is that these figures live within. We can spend a lifetime chasing the perfect partner, when really we're chasing a missing part of our own soul. The anima and animus aren't enemies. They are bridges, and when we walk across them, we begin to meet ourselves more fully. Because balance doesn't come from choosing one side over the other. It comes from integration, from harmony, and in that harmony, we begin to feel whole. But there's a warning in Jung's work. Because when these inner figures are ignored or repressed, they don't disappear. They descend into the shadow. And once in the shadow, the anima or animus can distort how we see ourselves and others. When a man rejects his inner feminine, the anima can become chaotic. She no longer acts as a bridge to emotion. She becomes a force of illusion. He may fall into fantasy, idealize women, or become emotionally volatile. He projects the perfect woman onto partners, expecting them to fulfill what's missing inside. And when reality doesn't match the fantasy, disappointment, resentment, sometimes even cruelty. The shadow anima seduces, not sexually, but psychologically, pulling him deeper into projection, confusion, or emotional chaos. Think of how many men chase beauty, mystery, or tenderness, not knowing they're searching for their own lost softness, their own longing to feel. Before we continue, please take a second to like this video. It really helps more people discover these ideas. And if you're enjoying this journey into the mysteries of the mind, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, back to the video. For women, the unconscious animus can become a tyrant. Instead of empowering her, he criticizes her. "You're not good enough. You're too emotional. No one will take you seriously." His voice becomes rigid, cold, logical to the point of cruelty. She may feel pressure to overachieve, to control, to never rest, as if worth must be proven, not felt. She might also become overly rational, skeptical, dismissive of feelings, cut off from her own softness, intuition, and flow. The shadow animus doesn't lead, he dominates. So how do we change this? By facing them, by learning their language, by bringing these inner figures into awareness, because what remains unconscious rules us, and what we make conscious transforms us. To integrate the anima and animus is not to deny their power or presence, but to understand them, to embrace them, without the illusions, without the projections. This is the essential task, and it is never easy, but it is the path toward true individuation. Integration requires a shift in perspective. It is not about controlling or suppressing these forces, but about learning to coexist with them. Imagine a dance, not one of dominance, but one of mutual respect and understanding. For men, integration means allowing the feminine to become a guide, not a seductress. She is the voice of emotion, intuition, and creativity. Instead of projecting her onto others, he must embrace her within himself. This may mean getting in touch with vulnerability, showing tenderness, and expressing emotion without fear. The anima can lead to self-awareness, deeper relationships, and creativity when her energy is harnessed consciously. She becomes a source of healing, not chaos. For women, the animus must be softened, no longer a tyrant, but a wise mentor. Instead of pushing for achievement at any cost, the animus must learn to honor balance, creativity, and intuition. Integrating the animus means learning to hear the still, guiding voice, one that encourages action, but also knows when to rest, when to reflect. It's a voice that empowers through gentle wisdom, not rigid control. When the animus is integrated, a woman's actions become aligned with her true sense of self, unburdened by the need to prove anything. Another vivid example comes from the myth of Yin and Yang, where opposites, masculine and feminine, light and dark, are shown as complementary, not in conflict. To truly be whole, one must embrace both aspects within. Jung described the process of integrating the anima and animus as an inner marriage, the union of opposites within the psyche. This union is symbolic of the integration of both the masculine and feminine energies that exist in all of us, regardless of gender. By harmonizing these energies, we transcend duality and step into a state of wholeness, where we are not defined by one aspect alone. This inner marriage brings balance, creative power, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. We stop seeing the opposite sex as an external force that controls us, but as a reflection of the deeper unity we carry within. The process of integration is not a one-time event, but a lifelong process. Integration requires constant awareness. The anima and animus don't simply disappear after we acknowledge them. They become allies in our journey of self-knowledge. For some, it may involve creative expression, writing, painting, or dancing, a way of giving voice to these energies in a constructive, non-destructive way. For others, it may mean therapy or deep self-reflection, actively questioning old beliefs and patterns. So, what parts of yourself have you ignored? Have you silenced your emotion or buried your strength? In the end, integration is about accepting the full spectrum of who we are, not just the parts we like, but also the parts we fear, suppress, or deny. As Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. If this video made you reflect, share your thoughts in the comments. And if you'd like to keep exploring the depths of the self, consider subscribing. There's so much more beneath the surface. See you in the next video.